What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Son, your local realtor, mortgage specialist, and real estate investor here in the GTA. And today I wanted to talk about hidden secret of a location in the GTA, which I feel is undervalued and has a lot of upside. And that is homes within the Township of King. So a little bit of a background behind the Township of King. The Township of King actually has a mix of rural and urban areas. And what the township is trying to do is preserve that rural feel. So they're not really trying to advocate for a lot of high density homes, for the exception of those areas which they do currently have. Which then adds greater value to the area. Now, the city of Caledon also was trying to do that and didn't really open up to high density homes until obviously the city of Brampton had pretty much exploded and has almost run out of room. The Township of King is trying to balance the preservation and prosperity of the entire township. So what you'll notice here is that you've got certain urban areas that are fairly developed, and pretty much the rest of the area is very rural. So you're going to see, sprawling acres with very large homes. But if you compare the value of that type of home that you're getting versus what you might get in a subdivision in Brampton or Mississauga, you're pretty much going to pay the same amount and get a very different lifestyle. So let me share some of the reasons why I decided to move to the Township of King. And it's not just about the real estate value, it's also a lifestyle difference. So first, let's take a look at the map of the Township of King so you can understand geographically how big it is and what areas it falls into, or what cities fall within the Township of King. King is the city just above the city of Vaughan. So the township falls between Highway 9 and all the way down south to just above King Vaughan Road. And if you look at the east and the west, it's basically Caledon, Kingstown, all the way to Bathurst. And what you'll notice here is that you've got everything above the Township of King. If you take the Highway 400 all the way up, you will notice that you still have at least another 30 or 40 minutes to get to Innisfil and Barrie, or even Bradford for that matter, which is another still 10 minutes away. And that's from the top end of King Township. So as a real estate investor, if you look at that, if the values of property are going higher in, say, that in Bradford, then the Township of King, which has homes that are where you're located much closer to the city, yet you feel like you're in cottage country, why wouldn't the values of these homes go up greater than they do in Barrie, Innisfil, or Bradford, based on your square footage? So you will see beautiful homes. If you ever drive through here, the first thing that will happen to you is your stress will just melt away. As soon as you pretty much enter the Township of King, it's just a different feeling. And yes, you do. You feel like you're in cottage country, yet cottage country is still another hour north of here. So location-wise, you're 40 minutes to the city of Toronto, and that's to get right into the core of downtown Toronto. And so that type of commute is nothing big, considering how much people travel in traffic. And that's another thing. You really don't, or there are a lot of means of traveling throughout the township without getting into traffic jams. So you may drive a little bit more in kilometers, but your car is moving. So in my eyes, that's something that I prefer, as I find traffic just a little bit more stressful and tiring. Now, if you look at the Township of King, you neighbor on to Newmarket, Richmond Hill, Aurora, Vaughan, and Caledon. Now, if you look at homes in Caledon, especially the estate homes, the prices are pretty hefty, along with Aurora. You've got homes that are in the $4 million, $5 million range pretty easily. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get homes in the Township of King for that much money, but what it is you can find properties that have a lot more value and, in my opinion, a lot more market appreciation in these areas than you would in areas like Aurora or Caledon. The schools throughout the Township of King are fantastic. They're rated fairly high. So access to schools was one of the things that I looked at, along with the amenities. So I wanted to make sure that I was close to, grocery shopping, Costco, gas stations, how far was a doctor's office, how far is the fire department, how far are the hospitals. So really, if you're looking at just down the center of Highway 400 and say Highway 9, you're only 20 minutes away from the hospital in Newmarket or in Vaughan. So you're pretty centrally located that way also. And also for shopping with Upper Canada Mall and all the amenities in that area, you're only about 15 minutes away and you've got everything there. But yet, when you're driving back to your home, you will just feel like you're in a different part of the city. To do your shopping, you're only 15 minutes away. And what better place can you have that type of access where, when living in rural areas, you tend to say, well, it's a 30-minute drive to get to a certain spot. But here, you won't have that type of a situation. Areas within the Township of King consist of Kettleby, King City, Laxey, Lloydtown, Nobleton, Pottageville, Schomberg, and Snowball. And when driving throughout these areas, you will see, the special characteristics that each area has to provide. And, it's beautiful. So basically, if you go into Schomberg, it's got a very quaint, old town feel, and with also a large subdivision area there also, with amenities right there, grocery store, doctor's offices, petrol stations, you name it, everything is there. So there are beautiful pockets within the Township of King. Do take a look at the areas that I had mentioned, and if there is some interest in the Township of King and looking and investing or looking for your dream home in the Township of King, be sure to reach out to me. I am a resident of the township and have enjoyed it thoroughly, and would love to have people understand and see the value. The Township of King has been rated one of the top places to live within Canada, and this is all of Canada. It is ranked in the top 20 throughout. So the lifestyle here is so much better. Township of King has many beautiful trails throughout that you can walk through, throughout all the seasons. Trails like Cawthra Mullock Nature Conservation. You've got the King Trails at Centennial. You got King City Trails. You got the Goldie Feldman Nature Conservation, and you got the Cold Creek Conservation. All so you have Cawthra Mullock Nature Reserve. You got King Trails at Centennial. You got King City Trails. You've got the Goldie Feldman Nature Reserve and Cold Creek Conservation. These are just a few, but if you enjoy the outdoors, you're going to love these conservations and trails throughout all seasons. And that's what makes this township so